ReganRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Boxing. I know there's one more topic, but it's not necessarily boxing. But I know it's something that our friend LB doesn't really want to discuss. He doesn't want to talk about because he doesn't listen to this rap.
Yeah, I guess it's that time, folks. So I like to say shout out to every ring gang. I'll be making my departure. Peace out to everybody still listening on the Podomatic.com and Anchor.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have these episodes loaded up for you soon as possible. Maybe Tuesday.
Yes.
So, with nothing else left to say, I'll lead these gentlemen to it to discuss hip-hop and one of the better albums to drop this year.
Yes.
Indeed. Wow, complimentary.
Take it away, guys, and I'm out.
All right, salute LB, man. Peace.
Best boxing artist out. Shutterworth the God. One.
Oh man, so yeah, sure. Shout out to LB, man. But yeah, we definitely want to talk about this because, truthfully, I think it has not got enough mention, and it is a quality album, and I do mean quality. The newest album from Wale. It was. I think P was probably the first to listen to it. I think.
Absolutely. I mentioned it. I'm like, yo, this Wale album is smooth. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and I have no, and I definitely. I mean, I've listened to Wale's album. I personally fuck with his music because
I'm a fan.
Me too. Yeah, I'm a fan too.
So y'all listen to More About Nothing, Mixtape About Nothing, like that? Of course.
Yeah,
I know. I believe y'all.
Yeah, no, definitely. Wale makes good music. He can spit, and he makes good music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he tried to catch that sound, but this is like up towards ambition level in terms of just commercial pop. His releases of his main albums. Very cohesive project. Very cohesive.
So since P was the first listener, I'll let P lead off the discussion. So P, lead us a discussion on Wale's new album.
I fucks with it, man. Wale is at his best when Wale, everybody knows he can rap and he makes good music. But one of the things is that, and I know he doesn't like it because he's always wanted to be, as big as the Drakes and the Coles and the Kendricks. But so he's at his best when he's making, great music, very R&B, smooth shit. Very smooth. But the thing is, then he'll because he wants to be looked at as those level of guys, sometimes he'll always chase hits. And that was never a good thing because Wale's good making organic hits, but forced factory hits, it doesn't work for that. Yeah. So, but I was like, okay, well, which Wale are we gonna get this time? Are we gonna get that Wale or the smooth shit like his last album, which I also enjoyed? And sure enough, we got the answer. This shit is smooth. I like the production. I like the lyrics. There's a lot of good songs on there. A lot of good laid back cruise songs. And he was just and he was in his lyrical bag. You know what I'm saying? I keep listening to Tiffany Nikes. That shit goes hard.
That shit was wrong.
Yeah. Plus he's still speaking about, the mental health and, so he's touching on current event shit too, but he's dope about it.
His wordplay, it's a good vibe, the whole album. A couple years ago, I got turned on by Maxo Cream. Somebody put me on the Maxo Cream, and that song with the Still Tippin' sample, Down South.
Yeah.
And he had had the South hit, but I like how he flipped it to that Still Tippin' beats timeless. So.
Yeah. So before we head to you, Pilot, P, what were your top 5 songs on the album for Folarin 2?
I would have to say Tiffany Nikes,
Okay.
Caramel, Fluctuate, Dearly Beloved, and probably Beverly Boulevard.
Yeah.
But all of them were really dope. The only one I like, and New Balances was a good intro. I was not a fan. Once again, Poke It Out. I do not really like that song. It's probably my least favorite song on the album, and this is where it gets into the chasing the hits, because I'm hearing it on the radio and I'm just like, the quality. This one's one of the weakest songs on the album.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, true.
those are
Yeah.
my five.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Poke It Out. I mean, fun things too is like, I mean, because it samples one of the most unlikely songs. Like, it samples Q-Tip Vibrant Thing. And the funny things too, Vibrant Thing, I didn't like the song, but that video, boy, I was like, God, there was a whole bunch of scattered ass in that video.
Yeah, and the beat at the time, that was perfect with the beat and that video. Yeah, that was.
And on top of that too, it was a little because Q-Tip was just coming off the whole shit with Quest, so him doing all this shit was kind of like. It was kind of, it was kind of like I didn't know what to make of it, but I mean, Vibrant Thing was, that shit was an actual hit. I didn't like the song either, but it was definitely, and it was definitely a hit. And then Wale sampling that of all things with, J. Cole being on it, but I can see the song itself. What he's talking about in this case, like Wale is talking about women with little butts, and so the topic itself doesn't really, I'm not really cool with that though. But he did his thing on there. The only song I did not fuck with on this whole album was "Jump In" with Little Chris. One thing I don't like Juke Go-Go type of music, so it's like I knew what time it was when he put that on there. He wasn't chasing the hit, but Wale, he's always good. He's always been about putting some song in there with either one or the other on there, especially with Go-Go shit on there. So,
I mean, I get it. He is from DC, so and Go-Go is still very big in DC. I've never
very much big, like
it's very big, yeah.
I've never really liked it. I kind of find it annoying to listen to after a
Yeah,
while.
it is.
They love that now.
Yeah, I've been I've been in DC clubs and parties where Go-Go House, that shit has been, and I'm not really a fan of either. So yeah, so that song, but that particular song, I listened to it once, and then usually on other re-listens, I'm just like, yeah, that's what I'm going to. Those are skits, automatic skip. But in terms of other songs on the album, like it started off like New Balances started off dope, and then Name Ring Bell, it featured that a Shabba Ranks sample of all things. So I was just like, okay, this is nice. Tiffany Nikes, and this is where I like, Caramel and Fluctuate. Like this just gave me SWV vibes, like serious. I was like, oh damn, like this shit. And this is where I think this is where Wale, like he really shines, like because he's not chasing the hate. He's just doing him, like he's just being experimental with his stuff, like. And truthfully, hopefully one of them actually becomes a single. I think the only other song that I heard from there outside of "Poke It Out" is the shit with Chris Brown. In fact, I hear that song all the fucking time.
That one's been out for a while too. I thought that was out for a good.
Yeah, that's been out. Yeah, I hear that song. Yeah, I hear that song.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and then the only other song I thought it would have been more was that shit with Jamie Foxx. I thought it was just too short, and then it looked like something could have been longer, but yeah, after that one, like I think the last 4 or 5 songs are the songs that have like are really underrated for the album. Like Pilot mentioned Down South, and I was fucking with More Love, and especially Extra Special too. And then Fire and Ice took it back to some old early 90s R&B shit. That ice cold.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, this nigga, he was trying to, he's trying to get some All For One shit in there or something. But then after that, and then Beverly Boulevard. Beverly Boulevard is probably my favorite song on this whole album. Like, yeah, that shit, honestly, to me, I think it was probably the best song on the album. Like, that song, that was a perfect album closer. Like I was fucking with that song. Like that song was absolutely that song was like perfect. Like so if I had to pick my top 5, Beverly Boulevard is 1, and then Fire and Ice, Caramel, Fluctuate, and then I'd probably go with Extra Special for number 5. But yeah, no, it was Rick Ross is probably the only one. I think he kind of disappointed me a little bit on this.
The generic ass song, the Rick Ross song, it was generic voice, like a generic feature from Ross.
Yeah, it looked like it sounded like it was a verse that probably wasn't. It was a throwaway verse, or it was a verse that wasn't really completed, and it's like, like I need something.
Yeah, no, yeah. Ross is. I've noticed that Ross is really good when it comes to, like, he always does throwaway features, like verse, like songs. Like I always think of Accident Murderer with Nas. Like Ross's verse was so generic and like didn't have anything to do with the topic of the song. It was just such a throwaway generic verse.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, and but I say, hey, I mean, it wasn't like it was a bad verse. It was just like there just wasn't anything to it, Like I mean, he spit it well enough where I wasn't like, yo, this shit was trash, but it's just like it just wasn't enough. That's how I felt about it. Ayo, Pilot. So, what about you? What do you think were your top 5 joints on this album?
Yeah, real quick, I want to say for Poke It Out, like that had to probably be the worst Wale. I always thought Wale and J. Cole would put a better project out than Kendrick and J. Cole. I feel like their chemistry, they usually hit. So that was kind of a disappointment, even though they were spitting the sample. That sample and shit wasn't needed. But with that said, I'd have to say definitely New Balances is a dope intro. Beverly Boulevard is a good way to close it. I like Fire and Ice, but I think Wale, when it comes to the lady cuts, is one of the best ever when it comes to just the lady cuts, when it comes to rap, the female cuts. So I do like the Jimmy Fox joint. I wish it was longer, but that shit goes kind of hard. Tiffany Nikes, I like Caramel. I think that might be 4. Might be 5 even already, I might have mentioned. I like Down South just because I do like this. I always thought Still Tipping was a classic song, and they all do their thing there, so it's a real cohesive project. So I mean, that'd probably be my 5. So Fire and Ice, Beverly Boulevard, Tiffany Nikes, Down South, and Tiffany Caramel.
Yeah, it's actually hard. So, this is a good album when you have a hard time really picking out what could be the top 5, for this album. But yeah, I think people have been sleeping on this album. I don't know what it is, or maybe the singles aren't catching it. I mean, Chris Brown's single always catches some attention because that shit, I've heard that shit more than Poke It Out.
Unless you're Davies. Davies had a Chris Brown feature that couldn't move any traction.
Yeah, Davies is a different type of rapper.
And also, speaking of real quick to Pete's point about Wale chasing the hits, like that dude came out the gate after Nike Boots with that Lady Gaga song that seemed so forced. It didn't get, that's when Lady Gaga was the top of the world too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that shit kind of came off a little corny. So yeah, Wale is best not chasing those hits.
Oh no, actually no. I don't think. I don't know. I think that song actually came out before Lady Gaga blew up.
Really? Yeah, maybe it was around then. Yeah.
It was. Yeah, that was actually just before Lady Gaga blew up. I don't think it would have made a difference anyway, but.
But you might be right about that. But it was obviously it was clearly a hit chaser. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we all know. As rappers, they have to actually they have to obviously create an album with some hits on there. But I think with Wale's case, I think the ones when he chases a hit, it's very hit or miss, mostly miss. And then,
what would put this in terms of his discography? Not including his mixtapes. I'm kind of like the White Album, not the White Album, Album About Nothing or Ambition. Would you say it's in the mix with those? Because I love Album About Nothing. Album About Nothing might be my favorite.
That's a good question.
Album About Nothing is my favorite.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite.
I mean, because I really love the first Folarin though. That's the thing. Like, I mean, that was the shit that I was like, oh damn, this is dope. I mean,
that was a mixtape. That was the first Folarin was a mixtape.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know. Yeah, the album about nothing, and yeah, it's hard. I don't know what I mean. It's Folarin 2 is still up there. I mean, I'd put it. I think it's maybe top 3, but I might have to run. I mean, I have his last 3 albums like in my thumb drive.
I mean, for me, it's probably the album about nothing, and then I don't know. It's hard because all of them, like, you can go so many different ways with it. I like The Gifted.
Gifted was good too.
Ambition. So I mean, I don't know. It's top 3 or 4 probably.
Yeah.
So I would put it over his first album. I would definitely put it over his the album he dropped before Folarin 2. I can't remember the name now.
Wow, That's Crazy.
Wow, That's Crazy. But I will say I feel like he has a better discography albums than J. Cole.
I actually agree. I agree. I agree popular too. As an unpopular opinion.
Unpopular, but you know, we Ring Game Radio. We keep it real. It's true.
Yeah. Like I mean, the Wow, That's Crazy. I mean, I thought that album. I mean, it was cool, but I think it was Shine was probably the weakest album he had.
Shine was
yes.
I thought he was done. I thought he was done. You know, when he's talking about retirement, I thought Shine. I thought he was okay. This nigga's done. But also, Ambition is kind of crazy too. Even though that was the MMG big release, like. Some of the songs on Ambition to me was fucking ill.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Shine had some moments, but it didn't feel as inspired as like I think it was. I mean, that was the album that came after the album about nothing. So I can see that that's probably the most notable drop off on album quality for him. You know, but Folarin 2 I think was a return back to a form like. You know, like a really high form for him. So yeah, this album was excellent. So in terms of scores, P, what would you give this out of 10?
I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Really, really solid album. I enjoyed it. I've played it like 3 or 4 times already. Like,
yes, sir.
It's definitely gonna be in my rotation for a little bit. It's really, really good.
It really is.
I have to see where I'd stack it up with some of my other favorite albums this year, but it's really good.
And what about you, Pilot?
Yeah, same. I mean, 8. I give it a good 8. I mean, it was one of the better releases. You know, this year has kind of been shitty because 2020, 2019, the shit was kind of lit with, everybody quarantining, so we got a lot of good music. This year's been a little slow, but this is one of the better albums this year. And again, like Shine, I think Shine was Wale's last project, which I thought was like, damn, is it over? But this was a good comeback album for him. And
no, well, he had Wow, That's Crazy after Shine.
Oh yeah, but I mean, Shine and Wow, That's Crazy. I mean, both of those were kind of meh to me. So
I liked Wow, That's Crazy.
I like Awesome, but I thought Shine, but I think Shine was just notable because it came after arguably probably his best album, album about nothing. Came off as probably his best album effort, so that's probably the reason why Shine was just like it wasn't hitting like that. It was good, but it wasn't. It felt like it was maybe it might have been a little bit. Some of it might have been throwaway. So, but for me, I actually give this a 9 because I really like this album. Like I said, the only slip up. Like if it wasn't for the go-go juke beat juke song, whatever, I probably would. It could have probably been a 10 if it was replaced by a better song, or it just wasn't there at all. So, but yeah, no, I like every other joint like a lot, and then some of there was some real classics in there. So, yeah, salute Wale for Folarin too, man. Shit was dope. Like Pete said, like this, it's gonna be a repeat for a while. I just wish it came out. It didn't come out in the tail end of the summer. Like it came out probably in the last week where we actually had like 70-degree weather. Because I mean, except for Pilot, but me and Pete, we're approaching real fall coming right now, where it's about to get. Yeah, we're about to get cold weather and then shitty weather and then shitty cold weather. So I mean, it would be nice to be able to,
it's hoodie season right now over here. I'll tell you that.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, it is here too. It's fucking cold as fuck here. Fall's usually nice out here, but shit, Seattle right now is trash as fuck. It's just cold as fuck. I ain't seen the sun in feels like months. Probably 1 month.
Yeah, surprisingly, the sun was shining today. I mean, it got up to like 65. So it would have been if I actually went anywhere, if I actually drove anywhere, you know, I probably would have had maybe I would have had the Wale playing. You know, but Folarin 2, man. I give it a 9. I think the other give it an 8, man. So yeah, that's a good average. You know, yeah, it's definitely worth the listen. And like I said, you'll have your own song. You'll have your own top 5. Like I said, like it's a real vibe though. And salute for P for P's review is the one that actually made me. I was gonna listen to it anyway. But P's what P said about it was the one that made me accelerate listen. Like, all right, let me bump this up because P really seems to like this album a lot. You know, so yeah, salute to P for making me bump it up my list because I have a list of albums and movies and shit that I eventually get to after a while. You know, and usually it's rare that I bump it up the list unless I see something that like, okay, you know what? Let me see why this person likes this album so much. So, salute P. So yeah, I think we've come to the end of our show for today. You know, I think LB said his piece, man. Pilot, man, do you have your final thoughts?
I'm just glad, usually the good boxing weekends come on a Friday and Saturday, so it was cool to see on my split screen two first round knockouts at one time. I had to what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a rarity. That doesn't happen too often.
That was flame. So I was happy with that shit for sure. And I'm just glad. I mean, again, November boxing on paper is looking like one of the best boxing months. Well, it's got to be the best boxing month of the year by far.
Facts.
So, obviously, hopefully it ends out strong. And we got a lot of fight-year potential contenders there with the Fulton Figgy and Bud Porter. And yeah, check out the Wale album. I mean, if you are a fan, because I know people that don't like Wale just ain't gonna listen to him. So, but if you're a fan of bars, a good, cohesive, mellow, chilled out album, good production with nice wordplay, yeah, definitely check out that Wale. And obviously check out ringingtheradio.com, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, not Snapchat, but everything else. Yes, sir.
That's what it is. AOP, your final thoughts? P.
No crying in boxing. Once again, there is no crying in boxing. That's all I got to say about that. As everything else, Pilot already said it.
Yes, sir. That's what it is, man. And another thing I have to add on from what the brothers already mentioned is, like I said, man, we do this shit for y'all, man. So if you like what you hear, man, definitely sub, man. Tell your friends so they can sub, and then we can all be friends, man. Sub to everything, our YouTube, bookmark our website, Podomatic, Anchor. We're on, Google, Apple Podcasts. We're on a lot of different things, man. Just all you have to do is just type in Ring Gang Radio in Google, and Google will take you to where you need to be. So, and of course, if you're feeling a little generous and you want a little bit more input, something you want to see, and you want to influence, man, we have certain links you can actually donate to, which of course are found on our YouTube and also especially on our website. Trust me, you don't have to look hard to find those. So for myself, Pat Sculper, the New England representative, for LB Shuttleworth, the God, the GOAT artist, for King P, Bodega P, and for Conscious Pilot. This has been another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.